Hello Stampers, I'm Lisa Tabor and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! Here in Canada. I'd like to welcome you to my very first video. We're going to be making this sweet card using a little lace. We're going to be using this design on the outside and this frilly design on the inside. And we're also going to be using Very Versailles. We're going to use the script stamp as well as this sentiment here. This is, I don't know, did I mention? This is going to be my swap for the Stampin' Up! Onstage, which is a celebration of demonstrators that happens so far about twice a year. I've been a demonstrator for a year and a half, and I've been to 2 already, so that's pretty exciting. We're going to need a piece of Mary Merlot that is 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, and that's going to be our card base. So we're going to fold that and get that ready. And you'll also need 2 pieces of Whisper White that are 4 by 5 1/4. One's going to be for the outside and the other one is going to be for the inside. And we're also going to use a Stamparatus. So this is our Stamparatus. And I'll show you how simple this card is. It actually goes together extremely quickly, and I just did 20 of them in a couple of, probably an hour. So setting it up is very easy. I'm just going to place my cardstock here so that I kind of know where I want my stamp to go. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to take one plate and just grab it. And then I'm going to set up my other plate before I stamp this script in gold, because the Delicata Gold ink takes a little bit to dry, and I don't want to smudge anything setting up the stamp, so I'm going to set it up now. Actually, I think what I'll do is I will stamp lightly and just stamp it on my scrap paper so that I know where to place my other stamp. The beauty of the Stamparatus is that you can just keep stamping over the exact same spot without worrying about having echoing or shadowing or anything like that. It's fabulous. So I'm going to be using the large stamp. And I think I'll put it kind of there. Pick off the cat hair. I have 2 cats. And there's cat hair on everything in our house. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to take the sentiment out of the Very Versailles, and I'll put that right down here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm just going to make a line where the bottom of the card is. That way I kind of know where my parameters are. Because I don't want that right at the bottom, but I do want it in the bottomish area. So I'm going to put that there. Let's place this here. I think that looks pretty good. There. I have to remember that I'm going to be tearing off this side of my cardstock, so I want to give myself a bit of wiggle room there. So, all right, so let's put our cardstock back in. And I'm going to ink up the scripty part with the Delicata Gold. These inks, there's gold, I forget what they're called. There's a gold, a silver, and unfortunately the copper is sold out, but they're beautiful metallic inks, just gorgeous. This is probably the nicest gold metallic ink I've ever used, and I've used a couple different ones. But you can see here that my stamp didn't stamp perfectly, so I'm just going to go back in. And my paper is pushed right in the corner, so I know that it isn't going to shift, and I'm just going to add that. Give it a little press down there. There, much better. So now I'm going to grab my Mary Merlot, and I'm just going to ink up Now you can see here that my design didn't stamp really well. So just going to add a little bit more ink. And perfect. I didn't get enough ink here though. I'm just going to re-ink that. That's what I love about the Stamparatus, is that you can just keep going over the exact same spot over and over for perfect stamp. Look at how beautiful that is. Alright, so that's the outside of the card. Just going to take my chamois and give this a quick wipe so I don't get ink all over everything, because I'm going to use the same plates, but I'm going to flip them over. There, that's better. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my plate over, and we're going to do the sentiments for the inside of the card. Just going to open my card here so I can see what I did. So I still have the outline of where my card was, so I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it on this one, because since I'm stamping very close to the edge here, I want my plate to be able to come down all the way. I don't want to have to fight with the hinge when I'm coming this way. The hinge is pretty high up, and I'm not sure that my stamp would actually stamp at this corner. Another thing I can do too, and I think I will, is the Stamparatus has, in the new annual catalog, this beautiful foam base that you can put in your apparatus to give you a little bit of lift. It's actually designed to be used with the photopolymer stamps, because they don't have the sponge like the cling stamps have the sponge built in, and the photopolymer doesn't have that. So using a platform like this will give you that edge. And I'm going to, where's my other, my sentiment I want in the middle here. And then there's also this cute little floral design here I'm going to put there. Now I'm going to use the lines in my grid paper to line up my lettering. And when I come down, there's actually grids on here too, so I can make sure that I'm pretty straight. I'm just going to lift that out and have a look and see how straight I actually am. Ah, not bad. Let's come down maybe just a hair. There, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to ink it up, but I want to stamp it off before I actually stamp my card base, because I want it not a deep Merlot, just a lighter version. Stamp it all up. I'm going to stamp off once. Put my cardstock in there. And there you have it. Look at how clear and crisp, and just a lighter version of that. And that's going to be the inside of my card. So I'll get this these stamps cleaned off, just so I don't end up with ink everywhere. There. I love these chamois. They look terrible once you've used them a few times, but you just wash the ink out of them. They stay stained, but that's okay. They're very clean. There, so that's that. And I'm going to pop this off because I don't want to damage my hinge here. So when you're storing them, you can fold one down, but make sure you pop the other one off so that you're not putting any stress on the hinges or on these little parts of the hinge, so you don't want anything breaking. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. And now we can actually put our card together. So here's my card base. Here's my inside. And what I do with my outside is right here. Okay, so let's put this on our inside of our card. Just gonna line that up in here. And then before I glue this down, I want to actually just tear off about 1/4 of an inch down the side just to get some dimension. I think it just needs a little. It's very pretty, but it doesn't have any sort of pizzazz, so we're just going to tear this down and give it a little bit of energy. And then plunk that right on the top here. Make sure I'm straight. There. Isn't that pretty? So now it still needs a little something, I think, so we're going to use these gold faceted gems. These gems also, there's 72 in a package, and they also come in clear. This is the gold version, and there's 3 different sizes. There's small, medium, and small, medium, and large. So I'm going to use a small one for the small flower. And I'm going to use the largest one for the larger flower. There. And there's the card. So simple. And look at the glimmer on that gold. Like, it really, really shines. It's just stunning. And there you have it. So, so simple. If you've seen anything today that you like or you think you'd like to have it, you may go to my online store at www.critters'nink.com, and there is click on the shopping button. If you place an order, please use my host code, which is right here, and it's also on my blog. If you forget to write it down, it's available on my blog as well, my November host code. If your order is over $200 though, don't use the host code, because you will qualify for your own host gifts. And if you have any questions about how that works, feel free to drop me an email at critters'nink@gmail.com or through the contact button on my blog at critters'nink.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye now.